Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Gemini November through December 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. And what does that mean? That means that in today's reading, as well as all the content on this channel, is here to help you illuminate those parts of yourself that really highlight who you are uniquely so that you can see your spiritual importance. You can see your singular path, your singular or unique purpose, and get closer to those feelings of emotional fulfillment that come when we know where we fit, where we know where we can be of service to the greater collective experience. So this reading here is specifically meant to illuminate a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome over the next month and a half that's really going to help unlock something specific about who you are so that you can continue on your spiritual growth and better be able to experience something about yourself that at this time is important. So let's go ahead here. I'm going to start by pulling some cards to take a look at the energy you're bringing, Gemini, to the month of November and December, and then what's going on around you. And then we'll look at what you're going to be unlocking about yourself, and then the challenge itself. And then we'll get advice from Spirit, pull additional clarifiers, and really see how we can navigate through the challenge. Okay. So let's see here. Now I'm doing things a little differently. I'm actually recording these videos differently than I have in the past, where this Illuminated series, I am recording each sign back to back with its opposing sign on the astrological wheel. So for you, Gemini, I just recorded your opposing sign Sagittarius yesterday. And then what I'm finding is very interesting as I'm doing this is that the similar message is coming up for both signs, but it's taking a look at it from a different perspective. And often I find just among the people I know, my clients and myself personally, that when we look at our opposing sign, so let's say for myself, I'm a Taurus sun sign. If I look at my opposing sign on the astrological wheel, that would be Scorpio. Now, I tend to have a lot of Scorpios in my life, and it's also that I can better understand another side to my experience that's not readily available to me as a Taurus. And so if you guys are really interested, if this reading resonates with you, you might want to also see your opposing sign Sagittarius's reading to get an idea, perhaps, of a different perspective of the challenge that you're facing and kind of what you're unlocking about yourself. Okay, so let's jump into your reading here, Gemini. So you're bringing in the energy of the Queen of Cups. Beautiful energy. This is one where this is kind of the true unconditional love, that mothering archetype. It's one where you understand the value of your emotions. You understand the value of what's in your cup. As you can see, this individual is holding it reverently in her lap. And it's what's in our cup, our emotional connection to our needs, our dreams, our wants, our desires for our experience in our lifetime. And we hold them first and foremost important to ourselves, but we understand the value of also sharing that with others. That's how we connect in our life experience. So you have a really beautiful, nurturing, internal feeling coming through, a deep connection to your intuition and your emotional state, which is wonderful. Now, in your external environment, we have the Seven of Swords, and this is an energy of it can be an energy of avoidance. It can be one where we're trying to get away with something, or where others are trying to kind of get away with something with us, meaning kind of pulling the wool over our eyes. So it's a general energy of avoidance around you. Now, what you're unlocking about yourself this month and moving into next month, we have Temperance with the the Nine of Swords, and the King of Swords. And what I like about this for you guys is with Temperance is this divine energy that comes in and really speaks to moderating your emotions with how you take action, and really allowing you to bring those two together to a point where you, again, have regulated emotions and you have regulated action. So you're not acting without some type of emotional connection, and you're not just drowning in your emotions without taking action from that place. And I always like to see this because it's the number 14, that there's a feeling here of alchemizing something deep within you. And in doing so, you are changing, you are freeing a part of yourself through that change that happens. And I also always see this too as kind of like with the angel coming in, there's a divinity, there's a divine timing aspect to this, that we learn how to alchemize a certain part of ourselves when it's needed most. Now, with the Nine of Swords, this is a card of worry. It's a card of overthinking. It's a card of those thoughts that keep us up at night, all those negative what ifs. And with the King of Swords coming in on top, you guys are learning how to master this part of yourself. The King of Swords is someone who understands the power of their thought process. They are able to clearly and quickly kind of assess a situation. They see the truth and they are willing to speak it in a fair and balanced way. And I think for many of you, it's been a journey at this point to kind of, I think, bring your emotions and your thoughts into a place of balance, but that there's been a point where worry has kind of gotten the better of you, this overthinking, this, well, what if it doesn't happen? Or what if it happens like this? And you're stepping into, we'll take a look at the challenge itself in just a moment here, but if you can overcome the challenge that you're being asked to really dive deep into the next month and a half, you're going to unlock this very powerful version of yourself. You know, when we think of you, Gemini, you are an air sign. You are a mutable air sign, which means you have the power to navigate change very easily. And you also have the ability to utilize your thoughts in a way that can help you create the change that you need and want. So the King of Swords is the master air sign in the tarot. He is one who has mastered his thoughts, mastered how he wields them, masters how he also communicates from that place, because air is also about communication. So keep that in mind, that this is something that you're learning to master, and it's a very powerful skill set, but you're really going to utilize when we think of, again, kind of this whole thing of bringing our emotions into a place of importance. This is where we can't get trapped in our heads. We're bringing it down into this beautiful place within of understanding, no, how I feel is important. How I express that to others is important. And if I can bring that again into kind of a alchemized state with other aspects of myself, that's where the real magic is going to happen. But there is something to be said about the Seven of Swords out here. So again, this could be two things. This could be where you are trying yourself in your external environment with those that you interact with. You are trying to avoid something. Maybe there is a truth you know you need to speak. Maybe there is something that needs to be stated, or you are simply just trying to avoid something that might maybe shake up your emotional connection right now. This can also be where there's somebody in your environment. It could be a boss. It could be somebody you work with. It could be a romantic partner. It could be a friend or family member, somebody who is trying to possibly pull one over on you or trying to avoid something with you. And I think, Gemini, you're going to be the one that kind of steps in and it's, you know, kind of the hard, like, I like how this individual is looking away, but walking straight towards the Queen of Cups, and he's going to kind of run right into that beautiful, loving energy. And you're going to be the one then to kind of be in this position, this strength of the King of Swords to say, there's no more beating around the bush. Now that, again, that could be with yourself or this could be with someone else in your life. I do feel like there's kind of this like hard stop of whatever's been going on here is going to all come to an end. But again, it's around divine timing. There's something here that this is all kind of meant to be at this time. So let's go ahead now and pull some cards to take a look at the actual challenge and the blocks that you're going to be facing this month. And then we'll take a look at what Spirit advises and also what can be the potential outcome as you move through this challenge. Okay, so Gemini, let's see. What's Gemini's challenge this month? see. Your cards are kind of quiet. Sagittarius, I felt like they just flew right out of the deck. But Gemini, you seem to be holding yourself a little close. You're holding your cards. Okay, well, here we go. So we have the Seven of Swords again, and I think that that's what's going on here. There's a little bit of an avoidance going on. But what's interesting is that that's at your heart of your reading. This is actually what Spirit's asking you to embrace, to move through this energy. So you're being asked to really take a look at something that you've been trying to avoid in a mental state. So this is where there's excuses going on, or there's just, I don't want to go there. I don't want to think about that. Now, your main point of challenge is the Nine of Pentacles, which is really an interesting card here to be a point of challenge, because the Nine of Pentacles is a really positive energy. It's one where you are independent, you're self-sufficient, you have the opportunity to really enjoy the finer things in life, or the things that you have accumulated up to this point. But there's a feeling too with the Nine of Pentacles where we're a little too focused on that, where we're maybe at this point this is almost like getting stuck in the gilded garden, but the garden has now become it's like getting stuck in the gilded cage. It's beautiful, it's safe, we have all of the nice things that we want, but ultimately there is something more out there, because this is the Nine of Pentacles. The last card in the Pentacle cycle is the Ten of Pentacles, and that's kind of like our ultimate legacy that we want to experience in the physical. And so in order for you to go from the Nine of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles, you have to kind of leave the comfy cushiness of where you are now, or you might have to change something. And so it can be a card of not wanting to leave a comfort zone, but it can also be a card of where we're just kind of lost in the material of our experience. And with the Queen of Cups, there is this refocusing on what you want, your emotional needs. And I think for some of you, there is this kind of battle between, well, I should just be grateful for what I have in the physical, and yet somehow this is blocking you from feeling truly successful. Because the Six of Wands is that recognition that we receive from others for a job well done. This is the person who gets out into the spotlight and everybody says, yay, good job. So for many of you, I think there's this feeling of, I have it all, but there's something here that you're avoiding that's not allowing you to feel that feeling of success, that feeling of good job, I did do it. This can almost be like where other people see you in this way. Oh, you seem to have it all. You have the house, the job, the partner, all of this. But but for you, there's something missing here. There's a deep need within you that even though people can come up to you and say from the outside, it looks like everything's going great. For you, you're avoiding something inside that's making you feel like it's not so great. And I think this is where we're coming to this like hard truth of what is that thing. So I'm going to see if we're going to pull an actual couple additional cards. And this is where we get to really master our thoughts. We get to see kind of where in our mind we avoid. And it can be a really interesting thing because, again, having all of this stuff in our physical, no matter how great it is, if we're not emotionally connected to it, or if it's not fulfilling a deep need within our cup or getting us closer to that dream that we want, well, then it's never going to feel like we're successful. It might look like that to others, or we can try to convince ourselves in all different ways in our head, but we're never going to bring that feeling into ourselves. When I talk about emotional fulfillment, that's not emotional fulfillment is where we can, that's where we get close to those feelings of true joy, where we feel on an emotional level the kind of almost like intangible happiness of just our entire experience. And it doesn't have to come from how many things you have or the physical aspect. This can come from just realizing that you have a job you love to go to every day and the right person to come home to at night. And that's enough to bring tears to your eyes and feel fulfilled. So keep that in mind, Gemini. I think this might be a big lesson for some of you in really kind of putting that kibosh on maybe putting your emotional needs second, and using your mind in a way that kind of is a point of self-sabotage. Yeah, we have the Lovers that comes up right after this. Yeah, there is something here around either a romantic partnership or around not being able to do something you love. Oh, we have Justice again. Okay. Actually, it's interesting because in Sagittarius' reading, they had Justice in the same place. So we have Justice, Nine of Swords, Three of Swords. Yeah. There is something around here around a contract, possibly. That's really what the Justice can speak to. It can speak to a contract, can speak to two people coming together. So this could be like a marriage, signing a marriage license. This could be a business contract, signing on the dotted line or walking away from signing on the dotted line. But with the Nine of Swords and the Three of Swords, there is worry around this, and the worry comes from the pain of the past. So for many of you, this could be something where I'm going to use a couple different examples here. This could be where everything looks great on paper, you got the right significant other, but part of your deep need is to go further with maybe the partner. And that part, and you don't feel like maybe you've gone as deep, maybe you want to get married, but that hasn't happened yet. Or you want to buy the house and settle in, maybe you're living in two different places, and yet that person you haven't gone down that road with that person. And so you're sitting here, maybe everything else looks great, but in your mind, you're like, oh, I'm just going to try to avoid I'm going to try to avoid feeling that somehow this is not enough. And in reality, if you can look that avoidance in the eye, turn this individual around, be the King of Swords, and just kind of stop that mental avoidance, you're going to kind of face head on a part of yourself on an emotional level that you really want to experience. And you're going to see the fear again, here's Nine of Swords. But what's coming out here with the Nine of Swords is the Three of Swords, the pain of the past, the wounds of the past. This might be where you want to take it up a notch, but the last time you did, it didn't work out. Or this can be, if this is, let's say, in a work environment, maybe everybody looks at what you do for a living and they're like, oh my gosh, you make so much money. This is wonderful. You got a steady job, you have advanced in your field. And yet for you, there is no emotional connection to what you do. You had dreamed when you first started doing what you were doing that maybe you are going to be of service in some grander way, and it just hasn't come out that way. Or you've just gotten burned out from the work. This could be like you are, you could be a pediatrician or a surgeon, and yet the hours just got to you, and you just can't do it anymore. But you keep trying to avoid that. You keep trying to say, that this wasn't my initial dream, or it no longer works for me. And even though on paper, everything looks wonderful and I have this great successful lifestyle, there is a choice to follow something that I love. And there's a decision, a rebalancing that needs to come in and take place with Justice. But maybe, let's say you have been a doctor for many years. The fear of walking away from that could be the reminder of maybe when you didn't have enough. Maybe you didn't have that job, or somebody in the past, maybe when you were doing a different type of job, maybe while you were working and you were going to college, somebody, told you like, man, you don't want to, being a doctor is going to cause you to have so much, purpose and fulfill you. Like, don't just take these menial jobs. Like, this is nothing. And you're going to think back to that and say, well, but I remember, somebody told me that if I just go and have a regular job, I'm never going to feel fulfilled. Or if I don't make this much money, I'm never going to be able to be of service in the way that I want to. And this is saying it's time to face that, whatever that is that haunts you in mind. A bad previous relationship, someone who put you down, a failed work experience, or where, it could even be where you really want to move someplace. There is, with the Queen of Cups, there's getting in touch with your emotions in a way where I think you haven't looked within this cup for some time. it's, you can see she has a lid on this cup. And I think for some of you, you're opening that lid to say, I remember what this feels like. I remember that there's a deep need that I have. I remember that there's a dream that I wanted, and it's not all here. But I put the lid on a while ago when I went through something that hurt me. This could even be where, it seems like your whole life on paper is fantastic, but you haven't talked with your family in 15 years. And all you want is this reconnection to family. But you're worried because the last time you got all together and you shared that love and you focused on that, a family member hurt you in a way that maybe they've had for their entire life. So there's something here around facing a point in your life that has caused you to have this wounding, that's forced you to kind of be in this kind of mental state of constant worry and constant stress. And there's something here around what looks good on paper and what you're being recognized for. It's not actually as fulfilling as you were hoping it was going to be because there's a missing piece. And it's time to face that missing piece. This is a really powerful reading, Gemini. This month, you really have the ability to kind of face yourself from this very fair, very strong in the mind way, this clarity to say, enough's enough. I'm not going to run from what I need. I'm not going to run from my emotional, again, my emotional needs and the dreams, the hope we all want to have for life. Okay, that was a little messy. I'm going to sit here and see what's going to come up for the Nine of Pentacles. So let's dive a little deeper here. But there's almost like for you, it's like in your mind, putting a hard stop, putting a hard stop to yourself to say, no, let's face this. Let's get through it. And let's open the door to what we really want to bring into our lives, to what really will make us feel like we've earned that success. Like when people say, good job well done, you bring it into that place of feeling. Six of Swords and the High Priestess. Yeah, this is moving. The Six of Swords is a card of transcendence. It's a card of being able to move from kind of choppy waters to calmer waters. And the High Priestess is that deep knowing within yourself, that deep connection. You know what you need to move away from. And this is the block. There's an aspect of yourself that you've been trying to move away from for some time. This kind of, I think for some of you have a limit in your mind. That's what the Six of Swords always speaks to for me. It's transcending a mental limit we've put on ourselves or on some part of our life, so that once we transcend it mentally, moving on beyond that bad relationship to say we are worth it and I'm in a great relationship and I'm going to choose to take it to the next level. Or moving past that point in our, in our career, it's that limit of saying, I can only work here or I can only make this much money. And suddenly we know deep within ourselves, we know what that is. We know what that limit is. We know where we've been holding ourselves back. So really lean into, again, you're really being asked to lean into with the Queen of Cups here and, the High Priestess is that deep inner knowing, that deep connection to your intuition through your feelings. Okay, Six of Wands. And I know that can be hard, Gemini, because you are a sign that is so ruled by the mind. And, it can be hard sometimes to just dive, to bring yourself back into your feelings. But this month, this is what you're being asked to do, to actually then come back to harness the power of truly ruling your thoughts and ruling from your mind in a very empowered place. Six of Wands, Five of Wands. Yeah. So in Sagittarius's reading, the Five of Wands was front and foremost. It came up, I think, 3 separate times. And so here it's coming up in your reading as well. Five of Wands, Six of Wands. There's a little bit of, the Five of Wands can be healthy competition. It can be a card of even chaos a little bit, kind of like that too many cooks in the kitchen. And I'm going to get one more card here to see what else wants to come out with that. But I think for some of you, there's almost this feeling of, there's a feeling here. Oh, yeah, I knew this was going to come out. The Five of Coins. Yeah. a time when you didn't have as much as you do now, a time when you were left out in the cold. And these are two cards. Fives are cards of chaos, but they're cards of change. The fives come in when it's time for us to grow, when it's time for us to level up. And so things get, kind of shaken up because we need to be shaken up. So there's something here around, for many of you, I think, the real feeling around what you want to be seen for is for overcoming kind of the chaos, for moving through maybe a time that was a little, chaotic, and you came out ahead. But there's also this feeling of, a little bit of chaos around a time that left you with not as much. And I think for some of you, what you're not realizing is that, you are getting the credit for this. You are getting the credit for going through a time that was a little difficult, that you have the ability to do that. But there's a feeling here of that you're still in a poverty mindset. You're still in a feeling of, you have all this abundance, and yet I get this feeling of, but it's not enough. But remember when I didn't have enough. Remember when it was chaotic. Remember when I tried to, put my passion out there and it didn't work. So let's see about the Seven of Swords. What are you avoiding? And why is Spirit asking you to face this part of yourself? Let's see. Chariot and the Ace of Coins. Oh, beautiful. For many of you, there's an opportunity. Ace of Coins is that fresh opportunity. It's the gift of the seed for the next cycle to begin. So this could be that you were gifted with a small amount of money, or you were gifted with an individual who's capable in a specific area. But there's something here that you have. And with the chariot is that beautiful energy of getting our head and our heart in alignment, which is, again, kind of coming through this whole reading, getting your head and heart in alignment. And it also brings in the energy of Cancer, which so does the Queen of Cups. So this beautiful mothering archetypal energy of love, but also that very driven energy of let's go towards what we love. That's the chariot. Getting your head and heart in alignment, getting back behind that wheel, taking the reins. And this is very important for you guys, taking the reins of your own life. And the chariot is all about driving that cart to your final destination, that place that truly feels like home. And I think you guys have been gifted with something. It's almost like, when you think about it, let's just use this as an analogy here. Let's say, you were in this chariot at some point, and you felt like you were going along, and suddenly you get one of the wheels comes off. It's broken, the spoke gets broken, and you've been sitting on the side of the road now with two antsy horses, your mind, going this way, that way. Should I keep going? Should I leave it here and go find help? Should I just get out of my cart and start walking? There's this whole thing of like, what should I do now that the wheel has kind of come off? And it's almost like what's happened since that moment where the wheel came off the cart. Something happened that derailed you in your life, whether this was a romantic, again, relationship that kind of went off the tracks, or whether this was a work, environment that went off the tracks, you got let go, or it just got too stressful, or even a family dynamic that went off the tracks. That it's almost like you've just been kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen to come and fix it, but yet you've been in a place too afraid to fix it. And the beauty of this time period is that you are gifted with something, or are going to be gifted with something that's going to allow you to fix that wheel and get the chariot going again. So this would be like somebody coming out of the blue and being like, oh my gosh, I have a spare wheel, and I have all the stuff to put it on. Like, let me help you put it on. And you get the wheel. And granted, it's not a ton. It's just a wheel. It's not somebody giving you a roadmap or somebody saying, hey, how about, I give you a bunch of food to go on your, on your trip, or let me give you a bag of money as well. This is just saying, we fixed the cart. the path is clear ahead. You're free to go again down the road that you had originally wanted to go down. And now you're standing there ready to go, and yet there's the fear coming in. Well, what if I go down that road and this happens again? And I have to go through this whole waiting process, or I have to go through this whole thing again. And it's saying, no, Gemini, this time, know what you really want. Remember what your big dream is. Remember what will feel like home for you, whatever that is. Home is unique to us, just as our idea of what heaven would feel like for us. So get really in touch with that and realize that things are back on track for you. And I think have been for a while, and some of you have not realized that. And all it takes is you getting behind the wheel again, taking those reins of your own life in your hands and saying, this is where I'm going. And this is what I'm going to do to make it happen. I'm going to choose what I love. I'm going to choose who I love. I'm going to choose even the love of myself. And I'm going to start going again. And I'm not going to stop myself. And if it happens again, well, then I know I'll be gifted again with something that'll help me continue. But I'm strongly hearing, Gemini, take the reins in your own hands. Yeah. And there's the Ace of Cups. New love, beautiful reconnection to life, a reconnection to the cup that you hold. And it's through what you love. This may be that maybe there is nobody in your life at this point. And but that's what you're realizing now, is that having all of the other stuff isn't worth anything if you don't have that partnership you dreamed of. And now it's time to get those wheels going. It's time to go back out there. It's time to, again, let yourself be seen without the fear and attachment of the Five of Coins, without the poverty mindset coming with it. This is time for you to go out into the world of competition. If you have to go out there and start dating again, if you have to go out there and start applying for different jobs, if you have to go out there, whatever feels like taking the reins back in your own life, it's time for you to do that, because that's where the reconnection to love in general is going to come in. With the Ace of Cups, there is a potential for many of you who are not in a committed relationship to actually find a committed relationship this month. Or over the next month and a half, or to rekindle a deep connection with someone, to take it up a notch. This can even be finding love and passion again in what you do, how you work and where you work, and, in that way as well. Okay, so now I'm going to pull final clarifiers for the 3 cards over here. So let's really dive into that. What does Gemini need to know about justice? Okay, so we have the 9 of Coins coming in again. 9 of Pentacles here. Double confirmation and strength. So there's something here around really leaning into, because when we think about it, 9 of Pentacles with the Ace of Coins. So 9 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. What do those two things combined together create? The 10 of Pentacles, your ultimate legacy. So for many of you, this is saying have the strength to appreciate what you have now. Appreciate the 9 of Pentacles. Appreciate all of the physical success you have. But have the strength to go out of that gilded cage, to take the spirit, the universe, up on this offer of this Ace of Pentacles. And that might mean you have to go out of your comfort zone. That might mean that you do have to leave the comfort of your own home to start going out and dating again. That might mean that to get this horse back going, you have to move to a new location. It doesn't mean you have to give up all your abundance. It means that you can utilize that abundance. And then the gift is the opportunity of the new location. The gift is the opportunity of maybe the new job. It doesn't mean you have to give up on all the stuff you've saved and all the lovely work you've done up to this point, but you might get an opportunity. a job opportunity that comes in, or a small opportunity of, again, just a little bit of investment money that allows you to say, oh my gosh, I can take it up a notch. And with this, the justice can talk about legal matters. This could be where maybe you do decide to drop those legal documents to start your own business. But there's something here around really having the strength to utilize the abundance you have now, but also to not allow that to prevent you from kind of going outside of your comfort zone to grab this opportunity here and to really move forward. There is a feeling here of reconnection to love, to what you love, and the ability to take the reins of your life to move yourself forward. Really empowering energy this month, Gemini. Okay. Alrighty, so let's see here. I'm going to pull 3 cards now for the concepts of curiosity, courage, and contemplation, and this is going to be advice from Spirit. So this first card is advice from Spirit as to where to be curious as to a potential area where you're blocking yourself from facing your 7 of Swords, where you're blocking yourself from seeing that thing you're trying to avoid. Again, it would be like somebody coming up and fixing that wheel on your chariot, and you're like, nope, don't see that it's fixed. Nope, it's still broken. I don't care if I saw the guy come in out of the corner of my eye. I'm not moving. I can't move. And this is saying, you sure can. It's time to face the truth, step up into the King of Swords and realize, yeah, I haven't taken the reins in some area of my life, and it's time for me to do that now because some area has been fully repaired. It's time to go. Okay, let's see here. So Gemini, what does Gemini need to know about where they need to be curious about where they're blocking themselves from really accepting this gift from the universe and getting that chariot moving? Okay, 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron, number 40, breaks down to number 4, one of my favorite numbers. It really speaks to building firm foundations. It speaks to the angelic realm and divinity, or divine timing for me. But with the 6th chakra, this is your third eye. This is that connection. This is the High Priestess energy. That third eye, that ability to see within, to see through the eyes of Spirit to what can be. I really love this energy, but where are you blocking yourself from that inner knowing, and blocking yourself too from perhaps allowing Spirit to come in and kind of like almost through your third eye project the way forward, project. It's almost like you're able at this point, there's a window that if you really allow yourself in a mental space to just be open and honest with yourself, that it's almost like you have this point, this ability to be able to turn on like an old-fashioned projector movie and have it projected in front of you through your third eye to see what can life be like, that it's not like now, that part that's missing. What is that? What is that part when you connect emotionally to yourself that you deeply need to have to feel fulfilled? And there's a feeling here. Yeah, Queen of Wands. It's a card of action. She's the card that I always say kind of harnesses the witch archetype energy in the tarot. It's knowing that you bring the magic, Gemini, no one else. You hold the magic wand in your life. You get to it's not where you are, it's that your magic can actually make what you want happen where you are in this moment. So, really, really keep that in mind. But there is this feeling here of, again, kind of bringing this in. You have the ability to really step up into the Queen of Wands energy, working with your magic, working with your passions, taking action from that place. And for some of you, you might have been avoiding this for some time. You might have hidden this part of yourself, or you might have lost a little bit of that connection to your magic. That was coming through strongly in the Sagittarius reading. So I think for some of you, it's coming through here, but in a slightly different way. that your magic is really your emotional is coming. Your connection to your magic is coming through your emotional state. Yeah, Page of Pentacles. Yeah, this is gaining more information. This is kind of getting all your ducks in a row. This is taking that Ace of Pentacles that you had, that gift, and really taking a look at it and seeing if it works. This is like somebody coming in and fixing that wheel on your chariot, and you're like, oh, okay, well, wow, it's fixed. Let me, get the horses going. Let me it's been a while since I've had that part of myself going, and I'm going to start to just slowly go down the road again. And so you're starting to feel it out. You're starting to see okay, maybe it rolls a little better than my old wheel, but you know what? I'm getting the feel of it. Maybe my chariot, lurches a little bit to the left or the right, but I'm going to go ahead and understand that. And so there's a feeling here of getting back in touch with your kind of ability to create magic in your life, to take action from a place of passion, but doing so in a way that's also utilizing the gift you've been given right now in your life. Whether this is the gift of, again, it could be the gift of a little bit of seed money for something. It could be the gift of anything tangible. It could be, you got a little bit of a raise at work, a little bump up in pay, or somebody new has come into your life and you get to work with that, or you've just recently moved and you get to work with that a little bit. But the magic is going to come through that. The magic's going to come through this change, however that's come through for you. Okay, so now and sometimes I'm just going to say opportunity sometimes can come in a way that feels like it's actually taken something from us. And this is, I don't know why I feel like I need to say this, but it's coming through intuitively. That sometimes the opportunity is the removal of a romantic partnership that wasn't in our best interest. And suddenly now we were being blocked by that individual and we didn't even realize it until they were removed from our situation. Or it could be the removal of a position, a job we've long held, and suddenly it opens us up to a whole world of all kinds of other jobs that might be more supportive to us. It could be the removal of, where we've lived for 25 years. And suddenly it's there's the opportunity of there's a whole wide world out there. And it was actually where I was living that was preventing me from, again, when I was talking about the fives coming in for this is points of spiritual growth. Sometimes something has to be taken away from us for us to realize that we've grown beyond it, or that we need to grow beyond it. Now the Tower hasn't come out here, but the opportunity doesn't always come in the way that we expect. So imagine if instead of that person coming in and saying hey, I have the wheel, let me fix that. The person comes over and takes your other wheel, just steals it, runs off with it. And you're like, what the heck? This is crazy. And so now you're really avoiding. You're avoiding the fact that this person just stole that wheel from you. You're avoiding the fact that now there's really no hope of you moving forward because both wheels are gone. And now it's you have to sit there and say, well, gosh, I have two horses sitting in front of me. I could just get on the back of one of those horses, tie the other horse next to us, and we could just go. And I don't know. And it's almost like you sit there and realize, I don't know why I've just been sitting here at this broken wheel for so long. But it took somebody coming in, taking your other wheel to kind of make you realize this chariot is done. It's not going to go anywhere anymore, but you can still go forward. You still have your head and your heart. You still know what you want for yourself. You still can go in and say, I know where I was heading to begin with. I just need to get on the horse and go. And it'll be all the same as it was before with my little chariot attached, but maybe now I can go even faster. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind where maybe you're sitting here going, well, where's the opportunity? I wasn't gifted with anything. It might be the gift of what's been taken away that's showing you now another way, or it's highlighting very specifically what that thing maybe had originally been blocking you from seeing, blocking you from experiencing. Okay, so now pulling a card here for the concept of courage, and this is where Spirit's asking you to be courageous in surrendering yourself. I knew this was going to come up. So this is just like the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Coins. Surrender your belief in scarcity. It says the universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. And yeah, it's almost like I think the universe has removed a block in your life and you have yet to see that. You have yet to see that you've just been kind of standing on the sidelines waiting to go. But yet it's your own fear, it's your own avoidance in your mind because of that fear that's not allowed you to move forward. So really realize this month, this is very important for you guys to surrender that belief in scarcity and just move on your own behalf. Move towards what you deeply know you yearn for. Use your magic if you have to. When you think about it, you might have a magic wand that could, magically manifest a whole new, maybe you're great at building carts and you realize I could just build something different. And I'm going to do that, or I'm going to look at my saddlebag and I'm going to see what's in there and I'm going to just go with it. That's kind of playing, that's being the Page of Pentacles. It's exploring this new situation from a way that you're the curious, optimistic child of like, let me see, like maybe I do have a couple things in there that I can tie together and I can, it's like it's really realizing that this, again, whatever's happened is an opportunity, whether it's come in positively or whether it's come in negatively. Two of Swords. Yeah. Many of you have been stuck in this point of indecision, of not really wanting to see something, not wanting to make that decision because you are avoiding it because you think one way or the other might possibly lead to a scarcity in some aspect of your experience. And there's the Seven of Swords again. So just like in Sagittarius's reading where the Five of Wands came up 3 times, here's your Seven of Swords. Here, here, and here. It comes up 3 times. That's the number of divinity. This is your real number. It's time to stop running from that decision and make it. This is a card 2. 2 of Swords speaks to you having to go deep within. She's blindfolded. She can't choose which sword is the right one because they both look and feel the same. So she has to blindfold herself to go within, to ask her intuition, to ask her feeling, which one is right for me? Which way is right for me? And it's time to put all that feeling of scarcity aside and say, what do you want? Where were you originally driving that chariot to? It's time to get back on and do it again. Go, 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 Gemini. Okay. I'm getting strongly here too. This might be, again, having the strength to leave a comfort zone. Have that strength to leave a comfort zone. Have that strength to leave a job field you've worked in forever. Have the strength to leave that geographic place you've been in forever. Have the strength to simply just leave the comfort of your home and the security of not living with someone to go out and start dating again. There's something along those lines. Okay. We have 2 cards here for contemplation. This is what Spirit's asking you to contemplate on, to reflect on throughout the month, to really ground this reading into your everyday experience. So we have Starseed. What lights you up? Yes. What feels like the lovers? What makes you passionate and what makes you love life when you think about it? And it says, trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Surrendering that belief in scarcity. If all cards were, didn't matter whether you did this or that. If you knew you would succeed, what would you be doing right now? Where would you be driving that card? There's a little bit of that feeling of like, if tomorrow you won the lottery and everything in your life, money-wise, was taken care of, what's that one piece that you would run out? What's the one piece that's missing? What's the one thing that you would run out and do? Is it add more adventure into your life and you'd book that trip that you've only thought about as you held yourself back from taking vacations for the past 10 years because all you've done is work? Would you go out and start that business you've been itching to start, but you felt, well, what if it fails again like the last time it did? Or is it finding that beautiful partnership with somebody else? Because that's the missing piece, because you realize all the money in the world isn't going to be fun unless you have somebody to share it with. So there's something here around that for you guys. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a final card for the concept of your overarching spiritual lesson for the next 2 months. So what you're really learning about yourself here, what you're illuminating and unlocking for yourself. So what does Gemini need to know? About what you're learning. You have 2. So we have initiation by water, number 23, which breaks down to another number 5, that number of change and kind of having things shaken up for the betterment of your life. Then we have master healing, master number 33, which is beautiful. That is the spiritual master healer. It also breaks down to the number 6, which is the number of love. It's the number of working with others for a common spiritual goal. It's a number that's associated with the home. Beautiful energy here. Okay, so now I'm going to read the excerpt that comes from the book for each one, just so you can get an extra message from someone other than just me. It says, initiation by water. Your spiritual path this lifetime involves you becoming a clear channel for spirit. You are meant to communicate with higher guidance from the loving spiritual worlds. Your initiation by water will further open your receiving channels, dislodge lower vibrational material, and sensitize you to the subtle realms of light. You are being opened to a world of which you may only have dreamed, such is its beauty, grace, and love. Situations have been arising in your world that evoke emotional reactions and challenge your opinions and beliefs. You may not feel in control. You may feel like your world, your own emotions have become like a stormy sea in which you are tossed about, and you are doing your best not to drown in the chaos. Yet you are not to fear it. It is stirring that which has been held within so it can be released. The storm will pass and the waters of your emotions shall become more serene. And I think that's really what I kind of felt here with this Queen of Cups, holding the lid over her emotions. It's almost like you understand the importance, but you can't quite, it's too much for you. And it says, you could compare the process to a glass of water with muddy sediment at the bottom. The water appears clear as the mud is left to lie. Yet once the water gets stirred up, the mud rises. Then it can be filtered out and the water will be clearer than ever before. The turbulence was a step that led to greater clarity. The waters in the glass are comparable to your own emotional waters, and the fixed opinions, beliefs, or long-held emotional patterns based on unresolved past pain are the sediment at the bottom of the glass. Hold the glass up to the light. Can the light shine through the sediment? No, but it can be seen through the clear water. Remove the sediment, and the water will be clear enough to allow light to shine through without obstruction or distortion. The light is the light of spirit, of higher truths, unconditional love, of peace, wisdom, and joy. You know that you are meant to be a channel for the truths of the spirit. As an advanced soul, you are capable of successfully enduring the process of filtering out whatever would obstruct the clear flow of higher consciousness through your being. Perhaps, tired of emotional swings, you have suppressed your emotions and believe you feel nothing. Yet you are acting out unwanted behaviors or suffering from apparently random physical accidents or maladies, which is your subconscious way of expressing your hidden feelings. If this is the case, you are encouraged to be kind to yourself, to give yourself time to reflect upon your true feelings. Releasing emotional blockages doesn't have to be a drawn-out process. It is often the resistance and fear of the feelings within that is more difficult than expressing the actual feeling underneath that resistance and feeling underneath that resistance and finally letting it go. Whatever pain you are feeling right now is a sign of emotional healing and recovery. You are encouraged to accept and process your feelings, especially those that do not make much sense to you. Your emotional truths will make more sense as you heal. If you can get help from a healer, therapist, counselor, or mentor, they will support you and help you resolve your part of the process more swiftly. Know that Even though it challenges you at times, this is a good thing that is taking place, necessary for you to more fully receive the divine connection for which you yearn. Love that. Okay, 33. Let's see here. Master healing. As you meditate, remain true to what inspires your heart and commit to your spiritual path. You become an increasingly powerful healer. You are here to live your own life, to be true to what genuinely moves you. The unconditionally loving guide and ascended master, Serapis Bey, comes to you now with a blessing of master healing to further your success on your path. The master, Serapis Bey, is a beloved guide for those who feel a strong soul connection to ancient Egypt, for healers who are developing their own modalities, and those who love to work with high-frequency concepts. He also assists with the translation of spiritual inspiration into practical worldly plans. He comes to confirm that the Ascended Masters are aware of you. You are an integral part of a powerful spiritual team that has taken physical incarnation to help awaken consciousness into love. You are asked to tune into your heart. What do you love enough to overcome any obstacle to attain it? What motivates and inspires you? Not what seems possible or practical, but what is authentic. We are most powerful when we serve authentically from the heart. A bird might learn how to dive underwater from time to time, but it is never going to be at its most powerful if it has to live underwater. It would struggle to thrive if it were to force itself into such unnatural expressions of its life energy. The bird yearns to fly because that is its divine nature and purpose. You too have divine nature and purpose, and your heart holds the clue. What feels most like you? It is difficult to assess the truth of our own nature when we believe we should live up to the expectations of others. If we are attached to an outcome or afraid of an answer, we can unintentionally block our perceptive faculties, a spiritual version of sticking our fingers in our ears and shouting blah, blah, blah. The blessing of Serapis Bey includes his clear flame of divine cleansing light. This can assist us in letting go of whatever blocks us from knowing the truth of our nature. When we are willing to be who we are, the universe can more easily guide us to fulfill our destinies. Serapis Bey will help you see yourself truthfully. You may gain feedback from others that helps you understand the value of what you share. Or you may simply find it easier to view yourself objectively with a compassionate, appreciative, and discerning inner eye. As you learn and accept who you are, you become a more powerful vibration for masters to put to use in the plan of love. If you have a dream in your heart, know that it has been placed there for divine purpose. What you dream and desire contains the seed of divinity. It is meant to help attract your life mission and fulfill it with love, joy, creativity, and pleasure. If we are willing to go through what is necessary for an outcome, it will happen for us. The details may appear different from what we imagined they would, but the truth remains. If you ask for something and are willing to go through the process required to have that come to life, it will happen for you. The universe is that generous, unconditionally supportive, and loving of you. It is your creative partner. It will provide you with all that you need to manifest your dreams, desires, and destiny. Beautiful ending to your reading. Gemini, I'm going to leave you there. I think for many of you, this is a time where you can really heal and finally put to rest wounds from the past around some aspect of your life that you're now yearning to call in. And know that whatever had prevented you in the past, maybe, again, kind of forced you off the rails, it's been fixed and the way forward is clear. But it's time for you to take the initiative and to, again, surrender your belief in scarcity, to open yourself up to the wonder and awe and the dream that you hold within your heart that you know you will be successful in creating for yourself. All right, Gemini, if you would like to book your own reading to illuminate something about yourself that will help you get closer to being able to clearly see your path, understand your purpose, and get closer to those feelings of emotional fulfillment, you can visit my website to see the list of the services I offer and to learn more about me. That link will be in the description box below. Otherwise, I will be releasing the next illumination reading in January, and in December, I will be releasing our shorter but very important miracle messages for each sign. So I look forward to seeing you all there. If I don't see you there or until January for the next illumination reading, I wish you all the next month and a half filled with a beautiful energy of reconnection to that dream that lies within your heart, and the confidence that comes with knowing it was not put there for no reason, that is part of your divine purpose, and in following it, you are going to unlock something truly magical about who you are. All right, I'll leave it there, Gemini. I look forward to reading for you again in December and January, and I, again, wish you all just a wonderful next month and a half. Bye.